All right, welcome to the season 1 finale of Frankie Float's Feeding Frenzy. We've wrapped up all our eating stunts. What we've done is we compiled an eater rankings list. I mean, what would an eater show with a competitive, tone to it without ranking the people that showed up? So what we're going to do is we're going to rank the eaters, talk a little bit about them, and then move on and then maybe drop something about what we're going to do in season 2. We got sporting the new jerseys. We got some new swag for season 2. The B-Dog here, chair number 2 today, because nobody else was available.
Thanks.
So you know how NHL they have an emergency goaltender? It's an equipment manager. There's emergency
Right.
chair number 2 guy. So, all right, we're gonna start our rankings out with. They're not gonna be in order of the shows we did them. I put this list together and it's based on the sunglasses. I got a sty in my right eye. It looks pretty junky. That's why I got the sunglasses on today. I don't need people staring at my eye. So I took the entertainment value in with ranking them at this particular point. So we're going to kick right off with, we had 11 guys come in and do eating things. So rank number 11 is Chris the Moose Cunningham. So Chris came in when we did the interview with Frank Petka for the Wingbowl movie. And he did fruitcake. And he did a real pathetic attempt at trying to eat that fruitcake.
It was a great interview with Frank, but
yeah. So Moose was one of those guys I brought into the circle. It gave him an opportunity. He kind of fumbled the ball, so he's going to have to do a lot of work to get back into the tank. All right. So number 10 is the guy you've seen in chair number 2 a couple times. That's Joey Popcorn. So we needed to get a stunt off the ground to get some, experience in there to see what all we needed to do and what kind of bugs we needed to work out. And Joey, being the trooper, showed up on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock and ate a 16-inch large pizza. I mean, it took him 3 weeks to eat it, and it took him a while. But we appreciate Joey coming in and doing that first little stunt for us, just, so we can have some content to work through and start working on the bugs. And, we've done, I think, 11 or 12 episodes, and we're still working on bugs, especially with the sound. I mean, you guys that are creators that have one camera source and one sound source attached to that camera, you have no idea how hard it is when you start adding sources. I mean, sometimes we have 4 cameras and 5 microphones going. So,
not to mention I'm a novice, right? Like, I'm trying to learn things off of YouTube videos and trial and error. So season 1 was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, there's a lot of echoes, a lot of trying to line sources up, which we worked through, and we're going to a wired system for season 2. We did one with it, but we had an issue with the gain on the mixing board that we have. We got that fixed up.
My fault again.
It's not his fault.
It was my fault.
He was testing, and he had the volume up all the way in the headset on the CPU we're using. Well, then he was adjusting the volume for when we started the film. He had the headset's volume at 100%. So then when you crank that down to like 20%, whatever. I mean, mistakes happen. We learn, we move on, right? So our ninth rank eater is Dan Rock. Now, Dan Rock came in he was the second attempt at the Giovanni's Pizza Challenge we did.
He did a nice job, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, he did a nice job. The issue was the cameras that we're currently using got delivered a half hour before he showed up. So we kind of rushed to try and use them for that shoot because we didn't have to rely on the webcams again. So we had the cameras set up how we thought they were set up. We had some issues. Some of the files got corrupted. I don't know if it was a setting we didn't do right or something like that. So Dan Rock's video, unfortunately, we had enough footage that we could put something together when we did the Sean Yeager's pizza thing.
Yeah.
But we tried and could not piece anything together with Dan Rock's video. I mean, sorry to Dan for that. And Dan's a big pie guy. And Dan, when are you coming back to do pie, man? I saw the video of you eating that slice of pie. I mean, I'd like to come in and see you do like 2 pies.
You should go out to Lancaster and grab some shoe fly pie.
That to Shady Maple.
Yeah.
He ate all pie he wants. All right, number 8 is one of my homies, Frankie Paul the Freak. I met him a few years ago at Wingbowl, and Frankie's on board with whatever we're doing. I call Frankie and say, hey, man, we need people. Frankie's, I mean, he lives an hour and a half away, and he still shows up every time I need him, and he's my guy. He came in and did deviled eggs, which, wasn't that hard. But he was the first one to do one of the Bizarro food categories, right?
The the pork rind flour cookies thing. Oh man, that was good content actually.
Yeah, so I have more ideas for similar bizarro like desserts like that, we'll call them, for season 2. So if you want to come back in, you're not sure what you want to do, I'll cook up some of these bizarro things and we'll go from there. But Frankie Paul came up with his wife and his daughter. And Frankie Paul was the Christmas episode. He had his Santa suit on and everything.
That was when I was in Florida.
Yeah, right. So our number 7 eater he came in and did hot. He was our first spicy guy, right? So he's a guy that did spicy mushrooms for me in Kennett Square. His name is Daniel Anderson. And he came up and we did the gauntlet of hot sauces. We did the entire last dab run from the show Hot Ones. And
that was a fun video to make just because the reaction of you and Joey was absolutely hysterical. In fact, I've talked to family members who just loved that episode just from the fun that it was.
Right, and that video I titled Anal Assassin Hot Sauce. And we actually had Pat Bertoletti, Nathan's champion,
that's right,
via live from some kind of connection that we were able to get. But I mean, the delay was a little tough. I mean, you'll see if you watch that video. But Pat, a good friend of the show, he said he'll do anything we need him to do. And we're going to try and do a trip out to Chicago to hang out with Pat for a weekend this summer. All right, next is, I think he's at number 6, and that's my fault. And that's Brian Grimm, Grimmy Eats World. And we had a little issue with making the meatballs. So I put the meatballs in the oven, and I cooked them so they'd be ready when he got here. And I turned the timer off and not the heat off and left the meatballs in the oven. So he wound up getting like little tiny leather golf balls to eat with his stunt, which would have been great content had he not have to chew so much to get through those meatballs. But Brian Grimm, he's got a lot of good stuff he's putting out on social media now. He loves doing sweets. I think he did 12 pounds of candy in one of his videos. So be sure to check out Brian Grimm's stuff. Next guy did the Pudge's Challenge. Peter Ritter. So Peter came down from Phillipsburg, New Jersey. It's about an hour and a half from where we're at. And attempted the Pudge's Challenge. Now, it's supposed to be like a 3-pound cheesesteak and a tray of fries. But we weighed that thing and deducted the tray out. It was over 7.5 pounds of food on that tray. So when Peter was done, he wound up eating 4.5-ish, 4.25-ish pounds of food in 30 minutes, which is no small feat. I mean, if you're not somewhat training, 4.5-pound foods is hard.
And I'll tell you, the food was great. You know, we sat there and ate before the shoot. So shout out to Pudge's, good cheesesteaks. Check them out down on Route 100, Coventry.
All right, number 4 on the list is Chili Dog Wit. Boys! He's one of the wing bowl guys that helps me out with wing pole. He came up, and one of his tricks is he does a double barrel bottle chug, and which right now has 10,000. It had 10,000 views when I put it up, and it's generated 500 new subscribers on our YouTube channel. I mean, just a little piece that he does is pretty impressive, and I have an idea for him for another chug when he comes back for season 2. But Chili Dog and his buddy John made the trip over from just outside Cherry Hill. I guess it's Audubon, New Jersey he's from.
The high school he went to was Audubon.
Yeah.
It was like Williamstown or something like that.
Yeah, so Chili Dog, great dude, always welcome back. Number 3 seat is the second highest viewed full-length video we did, and that's Mr. Mayo, Stephen Buchanan. Another dude I met through Wing Bowl. And when I need him, he comes to these events and eats for us. He ate 2 gobblers in a couple of minutes, 2 classic gobblers in a couple of minutes. And then, of course, if you've seen the video, we handed him a jar of mayo, and he had to eat the mayo.
That was one of the funniest videos I think we've filmed. I mean, we were just sitting there, and then when he started just scooping it up with his hands, I was on the floor. That was so much fun.
Yeah. So Mr. Mayo, great dude, friend of the show. Number 2 on the list is Josh the Goat. Crady lives, I don't know, about a half hour from me. He came down and he did the 6-pack, 6 food, 6 minutes. And there's a story behind that. So we were talking back and forth, and he wanted to do 6 Burger King things. And I said, hey, there's no Burger Kings around my house. Assuming he would figure that he'd have to pick that up on his way. And of course he shows up. He thought we were going to have it here, and I was like, "Yeah, dude." So he gets here. We drive around looking for stuff. So he wound up doing 6 spicy potato tacos for his challenge, and we picked up some seltzer at the Giant right here near us in town. But Josh and other guys got some great content. He eats with a lot of big name guys too. So those big name guys don't really have a tendency to eat down. You know what I mean? They at least want to eat with guys that are reputable and can represent their competitive food eating space. Because believe it or not, these guys all compete, treat these like competition or like an athletic sport, So, and that brings us to our number 1 eater, Sean the Mouth Eats. Yeager lives right here by me in Spring City. He's a tremendous friend of the show, man. He comes over all the time. I needed him to be a guest host. He did that. We did a new challenge launch down in Kennett Square, which is an hour away. He drove down to do that for us. I mean, Sean's been a tremendous help and a source of resources for us.
Let us borrow his cameras.
Yeah, he let us borrow his camera. So I mean, without guys like Sean, doing this makes things really difficult. And Sean's a legitimate eater. He's not like a Joey Chestnut or a Pat Bertoletti kind of guy. But when you get into that second level of non-professionals making a living, I mean, I'll put Sean up with any of those guys in some of those food categories.
Not to mention he's the inaugural winner of the Creepy Crust Challenge.
Oh yeah, the Giovanni's Pizza Contest we did. So, but yeah, Sean, he has a different mentality. When you watch guys come in to eat that are like just regular guys, they come in and they're eating, they're thinking, oh, how am I going to get it done? Blah blah blah. Sean walks in the door. It's not about how am I going to get this done. It's about how fast I can get it in. It's, I think psychologically between a Sean type and like a chili dog that ate. Chili's in here kind of having a good time, shooting shit, drinking some beers or whatever he's drinking. Where Sean comes in, he wants to sit down, eat, get it done, and be on his way. It's all about business with Sean. He's one of those guys that treats it like a sport. And when he eats, I mean, he's eating like it's a sport. So that's our rankings, right, from 11 to 1. So anybody that's been here is welcome to come back, except for number 11, Chris the Moose Cunningham. He's got some work to do if he wants to get back here. And then special thanks to Pat Bertoletti he's been giving me some insight with text messages and stuff like that. He watches the videos. He says, "Hey, dude, I really like this," or "Hey, man, maybe you could try this." Another guy that I did wingbowl with was Motrain. Motrain's another guy that he's texting me with, "Hey, maybe this will help. Maybe try this." Everybody that I know that's in this game is more than helpful and more than willing to help, which is appreciated. The last video we did, I was sitting there talking about, and we just filmed this a week ago. A week ago Saturday, we filmed Josh Crady's, which I'll be uploading tonight while I'm filming this. We were sitting there, we're talking about, we need to get to that 500 subscriber level. Once we get to there, it'll unlock some other features I can use in YouTube. And then I did a second level of verification. I'd upload some photo IDs and stuff like that. And then I also changed some of the areas where I was targeting my content. And Tuesday night when I went to bed, we had 218 subscribers. Today's Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What's that?
Sunday.
So 5 days later, we're over 4,500 subscribers at this point, or for YouTube. So I don't know what happened, if that second level of verification had anything to do with it, or if I changed some of the parameters where I want my videos to be viewed, changed it. But I mean, we're climbing at almost 300 new subscribers every 6 hours on YouTube, which is phenomenal. And I can't thank people that have been in here to help us create content, and people who have shared our content to help us grow. Season 1 is a wrap. Season 2 is on board. We have some new ideas for Season 2. We're looking for locations to do on-site events. I have a couple meetings coming up with trying to get like a regular eating contests. One's with a national chain I have a meeting in 2 weeks with. So hopefully something works out there, and we'll keep everybody apprised of what's going on. Unfortunately, we're in southeastern Pennsylvania, so I don't know where the views, the clicks, and the fans are coming from. But anybody that's within, a 2-hour drive. I live right outside of Philadelphia, near the King of Prussia Mall.
Go Birds!
Yeah, go Birds. So right out in King of Prussia. So if you're within an hour and a half, 2 hours from King of Prussia, you want to come down and do a stunt or reach out and pitch a stunt, you know, believe it or not, the average Joe guys sometimes have a little bit more of an interesting story. Like, again, no knock against Sean. When Sean comes in, he's all business. You know what I mean? Like, Chili Dog comes in, there's some conversation, some ball breaking going on. There's a little bit different dynamic when a Chili Dog comes in, or Frankie the Freak comes in, or Sean Yeager comes in, right? Sean Yeager, great eater, can come back anytime he wants, and he's got some additional ideas from some stuff he wants to do for the program. So, so we're going to wrap up this eater ranking show, and thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, hit that little notification button.
That's right. Well practiced.
Yeah, so that's B-Dog, and I'm Floats, and we'll see you next time.